interested to do business, a person who is interested to carry out business, which form of business organization should he take? So we will be covering this in this particular unit. So yeah, this is what I was telling. If one is planning to start a business, is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so if a person is planning to start a business or is interested in expanding the existing one, the important decision here is to find out the most appropriate form of business, and it is determined by weighing the advantages and disadvantages of each type of organization against one own requirement. Okay, so now how a person is going to choose it all depends upon the advantages and disadvantages. Not it does not depends upon the advantages and disadvantages. It depends upon the type of business activity one wants to carry. And also, they will kind of choose by seeing the various advantages, or they will eliminate the various types because of some of the disadvantages which are present in each form of the business organization. So the first business organization, the very basic. Okay, is my screen kind of getting disturbed, or is it fine? To you, it is
Ma'am,
showing
it's
fine.
fine, ma'am. It's fine.
Okay, for me, the screen is getting really disturbed here. Okay, so the first form of business here, organization, is sole proprietorship. Now, what is sole proprietorship? I am sure that wherever you are staying, you might, when you just go out of your house, you would have seen small kirana shops. Have you seen that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, or if not kirana shops, you would have seen certain vendors, street vendors, selling various things on the street.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they are the sole proprietors. Okay, just to give you a very basic example. If this sole proprietorship is the most simple form of a business organization, and anyone can start this sole proprietorship. You don't need any qualification, you don't need any legal formality. You can, if you just feel like starting it today, you can start it today. For example, you make some bhajis at home, and evening you just put it out on sale. Now, every day if you start doing it should not be a one-time activity. Every time you're doing it, it becomes a sole proprietorship business. Just to give you a very basic example. So, sole proprietorship is a very popular form of business organization and the most suitable form for small businesses. Most suitable form for small businesses. One second. Yeah. Yeah, so this form of business organization is more suitable for small businesses, very small businesses, especially in the initial years of operation. Sole proprietorship refers to a form of business organization. What is this? Why it is suitable for small business organization? Because it is managed. It is managed and controlled by an individual who is the recipient of all the profits and bearer of all the risk. It is managed by, and it is controlled by one single person who is the recipient of all profits and bearer of all risks. Now, you might be thinking, I have given you an example. See, I am doing everything related to my business. I'm the person who's owning, managing, and controlling. But is my business form a sole proprietorship?
No, no, ma'am.
No, it is not a sole proprietorship because I have completed some legal formalities. And I have, mine is a private limited company. So I'll come to that. When we'll come to private limited company, then I'll explain about my business. So it's not necessary that like whenever you see a single person carrying out the business, that means it is sole proprietorship. So we'll come to that again. You will start distinguishing by the end of the chapter why one is sole proprietorship, why another is not a sole proprietorship, even when it is managed by the same person. So this is evident from the term itself. So the term itself says sole proprietorship means sole means single. Proprietorship means It is the property of that single person. So the sole implies only, and proprietor here refers to the owner. Hence, sole proprietor is the one who is the only owner of the business. And this form of business is particularly common in the areas of personalized services. You know, when a person has to give personalized services such as beauty parlors, hair salons, small scale activities like running a retail shop in a locality, or a very home based business like making pickles, making papad, and where the person is the sole owner and he can employ certain staff and then run the whole business. So actually, the scope of expanding this kind of business is not much. It can only expand in the local areas and local territories. Because as the business expands, then they have to look for some other forms of business. Okay. So here the owner is himself is personally responsible for the payment of debts in case of assets of the business. If the assets of the business are not sufficient to meet all the debts. So now, what is one of the biggest disadvantage of this business is that if suppose the business has taken some loan from the bank, no debts is loan. If the business has taken, let's say, 10 lakh rupees of loan to kind of set up his pickle business, and if the business activity does not become profitable, they are not making enough revenues to give back the loan or pay back the loan or to meet all the debts. So in this case, the personal possession of that particular business owner will be seized by the bank in order to recover the loan. So here the personal possession such as his personal car or other assets could be sold for repaying the debt. Debt means the loan or any liability he has taken from outside people. Okay. So what is the definition of sole trader or sole, we can call it a sole proprietor or sole trader. So sole trader is a type of a business unit. It is a type of a business unit. Remember, we are doing forms of business organization. So it is a type of business unit where a person is solely responsible for providing the capital. So yesterday we were doing accounting entries. So he is the only person who is going to bring in the capital. He will bear all the risk of the business enterprise and for the management of the business. So these are the three important terms here: owned by, managed by, and controlled by a particular individual who is the recipient of all profits and bearer of all the risks. Okay. So now coming to the features of sole proprietorship. Okay, yesterday, like how we did features of characteristics of utility. Now we'll be doing the features. Features are also called characteristics. Okay, features. So the salient characteristics of sole proprietorship form of business are as follows. The first one is formation and closure. That means how is the sole proprietorship formed? There is no separate law that governs the sole proprietorship. So there is no law which governs sole proprietorship with regard to the formation of the business. And there are hardly any legal formalities that are required to start a sole proprietary business. Though in some cases one may require a license in a sole proprietorship, there are certain areas where they might require a license. Okay. And closure of a business can also be done easily. Thus, there is ease in formation as well as closure. So there is only one thing, uh, hardly any legal formalities until unless he opens a bank account. If he opens a bank account for a business, then maybe some legal formalities will be there. But if he's a sole proprietor who is just trading with cash, just like vegetable vendors, some vegetable vendors do not even have Paytm and UPI payments. They do not take UPI payments. In India, I'm talking about. So there are no legal formalities. At least if they are taking some UPI payments or they are taking bank transfers, then little legal formalities might be required in order to open the bank account. Otherwise, there are no formalities. And not just a formation of the business, even during the time of closure of business, there are no legal formalities. Apart from some cases where they might have to take some licenses. For example, in case of restaurant business, okay, food business, if a person owner he wants to open a restaurant, but in case where a business is serving food to the client, so in that case they have to in India they have to take license from FSSAI. Okay, so you will be seeing in your biscuit packets, chips packets, and all the household items where they are selling things, behind, if you turn the packet, you will be seeing something called FSSAI, FSSAI. Okay, that is Food Security Safety Act of India, something. So they have to take licenses from FSSAI if they're in the food business. Then the next one is liability. Okay, is this part? Please switch on the videos. Because even if you're not telling yes or no, na, when I look at your face, I can understand whether you're understanding it or not. Is the first part clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
is there any formation, is there any legal formality on formation and closure of sole proprietorship?
No.
No, ma'am.
No. Very minimal legal formality, and in certain cases, there might be some licenses which has to be taken. Also, like someone who is making medicines as a sole proprietorship, they will have to take license. Okay. So certain areas where it is related to a person's health or a person's kind of thing. Now, if suppose as a sole proprietary business, I cannot start a pharmacy business. I can't start, I can't tell that, okay, I'll open a clinic and I'll be the ear doctor, ENT doctor. Can I do that? I can't do that. I have to take a license of becoming a doctor. So this is like little bit of here common sense, where I can't just start a business of a doctor or a lawyer where a person has to take license or has to be a member of that particular body. Yeah. Then next is liability. Liability means what? Liability generally means to pay back someone. If you have taken loan from somebody, you're paying back. So what are the liability? So in case of sole proprietary business, they have unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means whatever, if suppose they have borrowed money worth rupees 10 lakh from bank, just the same example, and in case they have to pay back and they are not able to pay back the 10 lakh rupees from to the bank, then his house where he is living can be sold off. You would have seen in certain movies also that person's house, his personal assets might be sold off for paying all the business debts. Then next, yeah. So sole proprietors have to bring unlimited liability. This implies that they have to bring in rupees 20,000 from her personal sources, even if she has to sell her personal property to repay the firm's debt. So this 20,000 is just an example. So even if suppose the person out of 10 lakh, he has paid 9 lakh rupees, but 1 lakh rupees still left. So even for that 1 lakh to recover that 1 lakh rupee, the bank might sell the house for 50 lakhs and recover that 1 lakh. Understanding, you can't be there beg that no, only 1 lakh is left. Sorry, I will repay. So just to pay that 1 lakh, the person's house can be sold just to recover that 1 lakh. Then from this only you can understand that he is the person who has to bear the sole risk and profit. So as a sole proprietor, he enjoys, if the person is a sole owner, he enjoys both. If the business is making profit, full profit he is going to enjoy. If the business is undergoing some losses, then full losses he has to undergo. So the risk of failure of business is borne all alone by the sole proprietor. So he is the person who is to bear all the risk. At the same time, if he is successful, the proprietor enjoys all the benefits. Thus, he receives all the business profits, which become a direct reward for risk bearing. So, both the things in one paragraph. He gets reward for all the risks he has taken in the form of profits, or in the case when the business is not doing well, then the risk of failure also is borne by the sole proprietor. Then, next is the control. As a sole owner, what do you think? Will he have full control over the business or he'll have part control?
You have control.
Full control.
Exactly. He will have full control of the business because if he is bearing the whole risk and he's enjoying the all rewards, then obviously the control also will be fully belonging to him. So the right to run the business. So that what type of control? The right to run the business and to make all the decision lies absolutely with the sole proprietor. He can carry out his plans without any interference from others. He can carry out all his plans without any interference from others. Understood? So no one is going to bother him. No one. Then no separate entity. You remember in accounts, what did I teach you? The first
Business.
accounting concept that business and the owner is separate business entity concept. But in sole trader, it is no separate entity. The business and the owner is single person. So in the eyes of law, what does no separate entity mean? It means that in the eyes of law, no distinction is made between the sole trader and his business. There is no distinction between the sole trader and his business. As business do not have any identity separate from the owner. The owner is therefore held responsible for all the activities of the business. Kiran Ravi Srivastava, if she was a sole trader, then me and the business Aadhaar connections, if it was a sole trader, it will be one. And if I am not paying the liability, then the bank has all the right to come and sell off my house and take away all my personal belongings if it was a sole trader business. But since it is a company form of business, if suppose I'm not paying any debt, let's suppose. So the maximum a business bank can take from me is how much ever capital I have put in the business, not more than that. The bank can never come and sell off my house. Okay. So no separate entity means that the business and the owner is same. And it does not have any identity separate from the owner. And the owner is held responsible. This line is very important. The owner is held responsible for all the activities of the business. The owner is therefore held responsible for all the activities of the business. Got it? Then lack
Yes.
of business continuity. Lack of business continuity. Again, we would have done in accounting concepts, going concern concept, which means that the owner comes and goes, the business keeps on going. The person who started Tata, the person who started Reliance, they are now dead, but the business is going because it is a company form of organization. But had it been a sole trader form of business organization, so as the sole trader dies, the business also dies. The business comes to an end. Until and unless the sole trader business before the person dies, if he would have handed over it to the son, and the son is what to say, mature enough to carry on the business. So the sole, it's not sale, it is sold here. The word is sold. The sole proprietorship business is controlled by one person. Because it is controlled by one person, therefore death, not just because of death, insanity. Insanity means he becoming mad, he going insane. Insanity, imprisonment. If he has done a certain crime, imprisonment, physical ailment or bankruptcy of the sole trader will have direct and detrimental effect on the business and may even cause closure of the business. So how does the business come to an end? Sole proprietor business come to an end due to death of the sole trader, insanity of sole trader, imprisonment of sole trader, physical ailment, or bankruptcy, insolvency. He is not able to pay back. He has become broke. So there are 5 reasons why a sole trader can be, why a sole trader, how a sole trader business can cease to do its operation. So what are the 6 features? Let's revise. First is formation and closure. First feature talks about formation and closure. It will be very easy to remember. First is formation. Then second, we talk about the liability. Then third, we will talk about the sole risk and bearer of profit recipient. Risk and rewards. Third is risk and rewards. Fourth is control. Fifth is no separate entity. And sixth is lack of business continuity. So these are the 6 features of sole trader business. Now, you must be still wondering, okay, we got to know about the features, but why should we then carry on sole trader? What are the merits and demerits? Which type of business? So looking at the characteristics, yeah, you would have got some 50-50 opinion that it is good, it is bad. There are some businesses who will go ahead with sole trader. For example, if the businessman is illiterate and they are carrying a very small business activity, like a vegetable vendor who is growing fruits and vegetables in his own home garden, and they are just selling everyday's produce in the market. Do you think that person is going to form a company? He's not even that educated. He just knows that he has to grow vegetables and fruits in his backyard and just has to sell it every day. There are people outside my society, like every day the women, they just pluck flowers from various area. They accumulate the whole flower. Maybe at 3 o'clock, they start plucking flowers from the various houses. And then morning 6:30, because it is society, concrete jungle, people cannot grow much flowers in their balcony. But everyone does puja at home and they need flowers. So while going to drop their children, they buy just 10 rupees flowers and come. So what these ladies do, they have a business idea. They just pluck flowers from 3 o'clock in the morning, and then at 6 o'clock in the morning, they just spread out one cloth, and there they keep the flower, and then 10 for 10 rupees, she'll put 5 hibiscus and this, that, and small, some bale patra leaves, and then they'll sell for 10 rupees. So do you think that she will go for a company form of business,
No, no.
paying the GST and all that thing? No, right? So yeah, so the scope is, now let's look at the advantages. Why some businesses will still go for sole proprietor? Let's see what are the advantages of it. The sole proprietorship offers many advantages, and some of the important advantages are quick decision making because it is a single person. Today, that lady is not well. She doesn't want to sell flowers. Quick decision, I will not go. As simple as that. As simple as that. She doesn't have to ask anyone. So, a sole proprietor enjoys considerable degree of freedom in making business decisions. Further, the decision making is prompt because there is no need to consult others. There is no need to consult others. She's not well, she will not go to pluck flowers. She will not sell flowers that day. This may lead to timely capitalization of market opportunities as and when they arise. Okay. So if suppose it is Ram Navami day, then maybe she will not accumulate flowers at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe from the previous evening only, or just one day before. She will get more flowers, and maybe instead of flowers, she will start making what to say, necklaces, everything. Garland, flower garlands. Because it is Ram Navami day. She has to get the opportunity. Any special puja day, people just don't buy the loose flowers. They buy garlands also to put it around the photo frames or the idols. Or maybe she will instead of having flowers, she can have coconuts also that day. And instead of selling for 20 rupees, she might sell it on for 40 rupees on the business day. For all these things, she doesn't have to take any permission. We all know na, that 20 rupees garland sells at 40 rupees on the day of any festivals. Okay. The next is confidentiality of information. Confidentiality. Now, since it is one person, since the business is being run by one person, so whatever decisions I take or I want to take, I can keep it with myself. I need not share my secrets with anyone. Any of my business plans or business secrets, I would not sell with any. I will not tell anyone. Or if I am a person who is selling mirchi bhajis, I might not give out my recipe to anyone. If I'm selling Manchurians and people are liking and demanding a lot of it, I will not even sell the business plans, my recipes, anything. So sole decision-making authority enables the proprietor to keep all the information related to the business confidential and maintains secrecy. The sole trader is not bound by law to publish firms, books of accounts. Even the books of accounts, what they are maintaining, they are not required to publish it. So the business is top secret. It's a top secret. It is only known to the owner. And no one can force to even give a small detail of the business. And the third one is direct incentive. A sole proprietor directly reaps the benefits of his or her efforts as he or she is the recipient of all the profit. The need to share the profits does not arise as she is the single owner. This provides maximum incentive to the sole trader to work hard. It's as simple as possible. I'm the owner of the business. I am in charge of all the profits and losses. So the full incentive is all upon me. How much ever flowers I have, the more I accumulate, the more I sell. If I don't sell one single day, my revenue is zero. So as you reap all the profits, it's like, as you sow, so shall you reap. If they're working hard, then they're going to get paid off. If they're not working, then gone. So maximum incentive. So here with this gives maximum incentive for a person to work hard. Then sense of accomplishment. Obviously, if you work hard, if a person works hard and gets paid off because of its hard work, they get paid off in the form of profit. Don't you think the person is going to have sense of accomplishment? Like how a child, when they do well in the class, they get first prize, and then that, the shield is given to them, medal is given to them, the memento is given. So it's like a sense of accomplishment. A personal satisfaction. What is sense of accomplishment? It is a personal satisfaction involved in working for oneself. See, now, if suppose you work day and night, every day, not day and night, every day consistently, you are studying for at least 2 hours, self-study. And when the exams come, you top the exam. Won't you feel that sense of accomplishment that, yeah, I did it. I nailed my exam and you get that personal satisfaction because every single day you studied consistently for your goal. है ना? So the knowledge that one is responsible for the success of business does not only contribute to the self-satisfaction, but also instills in individual sense of accomplishment and confidence in one's abilities. So if you get that sense of accomplishment in your very first term of your examination in standard 11, your confidence level in this particular commerce subject is going to boost up like anything. And then you're going to do well in your half yearly and then final exam, and then finally when you come to boards, standard 12, if you have high sense of accomplishment, then you might even look forward to top your school, not just top your school, top the state and top the exams. And I would love to see that you three have entered standard 11th, and if you all just pass out with flying color, not pass with, just top your exams. That's actually, it's going to give me sense of accomplishment. You paying fees every month is not going to give me sense of accomplishment, but all the three of you here, if you get highest in your classes, that will actually give me a sense of accomplishment in the business which I am doing. Okay. So I would want to get that good news in another 6 months or 3 months, whenever you have a half yearly, that you have topped your class. Then I'll wear that medal of pride that, wow, my students are really good. Anyways, Shivani, I know, is going to be there for every single day, but Shilija and Anandini will go off in 2 months. Not 2 months, 1.5 months they'll go off, but okay, no problem. But I'll keep getting the news about you. Then the next is ease of formation and closure. An important merit of sole proprietorship is the possibility of entering into the business with minimal legal formalities. This we have already discussed in the characteristics. Since the formation and closure is very easy with minimal legal formalities, there is no separate law that governs sole proprietorship. There's no separate law. Like for partnership, we have Indian Partnership Act 1932. Then for companies, we have Indian Companies and Companies Act 2013 and various other laws. But for sole proprietorship, there is no such law. You know, so this is very important here. There is no separate law that governs the sole proprietorship. It is easy to start and close the business as per the wish of the owner. So these are the merits of sole proprietorship. 6 characteristics we have done, 5 merits we have done. Now, you know what? After each and every topic, make mind maps. Do you know how to make mind maps? You know, you don't know. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you in the next class how to make mind maps. Because, you know, just when you read business organization, when you read these kind of subjects now, while reading it is very easy. Understanding is also very easy. The main part is recollection. Once you're able to recollect through some strategies like mind maps and mnemonics, it becomes very easy to score well. So what are the 5 merits we have done here? First is quick decision. Then the second one is confidentiality of information. Third is direct incentive. Then we have sense of accomplishment and ease of formation and closure. Ease of formation and closure is from your characteristics and feature. One is from your characteristics and feature. Now let's look a very good example they have given of Coca-Cola. We all know Coca-Cola, right? Now it is a company, but then it started as a sole proprietor. You know? The product that has been given world its best known taste. You know, still the Coca-Cola secret is unknown. No one can still replicate Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola fans only drink Coca-Cola. They don't go for Pepsi and Thumbs Up. And the best known taste, it was born in Atlanta, Georgia on May 8th, 1886. Okay. That old Coca-Cola secret is. Dr. John Steve Pemberton, a local pharmacist. So he was a local pharmacist and he produced the syrup for Coca-Cola and carried out a jug of new product down the street to Jacob's pharmacy where it was sampled and pronounced excellent. So what he did in the mug, you know, he made a concrete syrup and then someone drank it and then he said that it is excellent and placed on sale for 5 cents a glass as a soda fountain drink. So he made something and people really liked it. So what he started doing, he started selling 1 glass of Coca-Cola for 5 cents. So Dr. Pemberton never realized that the potential of the beverage he created. He gradually sold portions of his business to various partners, and just prior to his death in 1888, he sold his remaining interest in Coca-Cola to Asa G. Chandler, an Atlantan with great business acumen. Had he not sold his business operations before his death, Coca-Cola would have died long back in 1888. Just see, imagine, 1886 he discovered the formula and in 1888 he died in 2 years. The sole trader died in 2 years. That means if he wouldn't have sold his business to another person, then in 2 years, even Coca-Cola would have died and we wouldn't have tasted Coca-Cola. So he sold his remaining interest in Coca-Cola, yeah. Asa G. Chandler, an Atlantan with great business acumen, Mr. Chandler proceeded to buy additional business rights and acquire complete control. So this Chandler or Candler, whatever you call him, he actually purchased all the business rights and acquired complete control on Coca-Cola. On 1st of May 1889, after almost 3 years, Candler published a full-page advertisement in the Atlanta Journal proclaiming his wholesale and retail drug in the business as sole proprietors of Coca-Cola. Delicious, refreshing, accelerating, and invigorating. My God, that was his tagline. See that he is the sole proprietor of Coca-Cola. And sole ownership, which Mr. Chandler did not actually achieve until 1891, and it needed an investment of 2,300. It was only in 1892 that Mr. Candler formed a company called the Coca-Cola Corporation. So Coca-Cola actually started as a sole proprietor in 1886 And he was not the actual founder of Coca-Cola. It was uh, Dr. John Stitt. He was the pharmacist and he formed Coca-Cola. But then only after 2 years, unluckily, he died and he had sold the business to Mr. Candler, and he actually he named himself as the sole proprietor. And then after like 4 years, 1889, after 3 years, he formed a company, and that is why we have the Coca-Cola Corporation right now. So this was the start of Coca-Cola. Now let's look at the limitations. Now let's look at the limitations of sole proprietorship. Now, from this story, what is the first limitation you would have understood? If Mr. this Dr. Stith, Dr. whatever is his name, um, Dr. John Stith Pemberton, if he had not started as a sole trader and if he would have started as a company in the very first place, he would have been called as the founder and not the Candler. Candler took the rights and he called himself as the sole proprietor, but then he did not have any business organization. So the reality, okay, story everyone knows that John Stitt was the founder of Coca-Cola, but then legally he's not the founder of Coca-Cola. Law recognizes the legal founder as a person who registered the business and he carried forward. So in the eyes of law, that is the real founder. So the first limitation is that sole proprietorship offers limited resources. Resources of a sole proprietor is limited because to his personal savings and borrowings from others. Banks and other lending institutions may hesitate to extend a long-term loan to the sole proprietor. Just imagine. Now here, if suppose John Stith would have taken loan from the bank and after 2 years he passed away, what would have happened to the loan? The loan would have got defaulted because the person who took the loan, the sole proprietor, he himself died. So that is why banks do not want to give loan to the sole proprietors because the business forms with the sole proprietor and dies with the sole proprietor. In this case, the business was saved because before his death, he had sold his business. Otherwise, the Coca-Cola business would have also died with John's death. So banks and other lending institutions may hesitate to extend a long-term loan to the sole proprietor. And lack of resources is one of the major reasons why the size of business rarely grows much and generally remains small. They do not have funds. They cannot raise funds from the institution, and that is why they cannot expand the business. Then the second one is limited life of business concern. Why limited life of business concern? Because the life of the business concern here is related with the life of the person, sole trader. He dies, the business dies. It's not a going concern. So the sole proprietorship business is owned and controlled by one person. So the death, insanity, imprisonment, physical ailment, and bankruptcy, all the 5 issues of a proprietor affects the business and can lead to his closure. This we have discussed in the characteristics. Unlimited liability. Again, this comes from the characteristics. These are coming from the characteristics. The liability of the owner is unlimited. His personal property can be attached. So if the business fails, the creditors can recover their dues, not merely from the business assets. The creditors will come, here creditors are like banks. They will come and sell the business assets. And if the business assets are not sufficient, then they will also take the personal assets of the proprietor. This is the biggest disadvantage. Any poor decision or an unfavorable circumstances can create serious financial burden on the owner. He just started the business, took lots of loan, and suddenly COVID 3.0 struck. God, the business will die. He will default on the loan. The bank will come and sell the business assets. The bank will come and sell the personal assets to recover the loan. That is the reason why sole proprietor is less inclined to take risks from the form of innovation or expansion. Here, sole traders, they are actually hesitant. They are satisfied with the little money what they are making because they do not want to take any risk. Because any risk, any major decision they take, And if the business plan does not work out, then they are always scared that the banks will come and sell their personal property. Then fourth is limited managerial ability. The sole proprietor or the sole trader, he himself is the manager because he owns, manages, and controls the business. So he can be good at producing it. John D. Smith is okay. He was good at producing it, but maybe he may not be good at marketing it. Like I might be good at just teaching, but I can't. I may not be good at marketing my coaching, talking to each and every students and convincing them to join my classes. Okay. So the owner has to assume the responsibility of various managerial tasks such as purchasing, selling, financing, etc. And it is rare to find an individual who excels in all the areas. It is rare to find an individual who's like a multitasker, who's a multi manager kind of a person. Thus, decision making may not be balanced in all the cases. And also because of the limited resources, sole proprietor may not be able to employ and retain talented and ambitious employees. That is why sole proprietorship suffers from various shortcomings. Many entrepreneurs opt for this form of business organization because of its inherent advantages. Because of some advantages, people will opt for it. And because for a business who wants to expand and grow their businesses, take the business to a next level, they will never go for sole trader business. Even this person, the Candler, he also, after 3 years, after acquiring the business of Coca-Cola, after 3 years, he wanted to take it to the next level, to the world. He could not do it through sole trader. He converted his company in 1892 to Coca-Cola Corporation. Got it? So 4 limitations we have done. Limited resources, limited, only one unlimited liability. Limited resources, limited life of business, limited managerial ability, and third is unlimited liability. We will also come to limited liability. Limited liability is an advantage, not a disadvantage. So with this, we come to an end of sole trader. Now, I will not be starting joint family, joint Hindu business.